strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Hey everybody, it's Bulldog here, and I've got a different type of video here today. So I have no gameplay, anything like that. I am just going to answer a single question that I've been receiving quite a bit over the past week, and that is, what are your thoughts on the Game Changers losing their test server access? So let me back up a little bit. I'm sure almost all of you will know this, but for those that don't, the Game Changers, or I guess they're former Game Changers, just for simplicity, I will just say Game Changers, lost their test server accounts a few days ago, and there was a huge outrage over this, complaining to CG, saying it was a terrible move, that these guys provide a lot of publicity for the game, that type of thing. They should continue to support them. None of that is false necessarily, but I had a very, very different take on this, a different perspective, and I thought the easiest way was just to make a video and share that, because well, my first reaction was extreme excitement, because to me it means there's something new coming, and I don't think they got mad at the Game Changers and just took that account away. Now I don't have any inside info there or anything like that, but my initial reaction is, okay, they're ready to start testing the new raid or the new game mode they talked about, or they've talked about all this other content that is coming, that they are working on something big, and I think they are now ready to test it, but they're not ready for the Game Changers to actually have access to and to see that yet. They don't want anything slipping out, so they're restricting access as much as possible. So that is exciting to me, and I think that would be exciting to almost all of us. Now, some of you will say that you don't think that's what it is, but I know there's a lot of jokes about, oh, it took CG 4 months to design these Galactic Legends and the events, and it shouldn't have taken that long. I don't think that's all they were working on. I mean, and we know that's not all they were working on, but I think a lot of that has been this new game, either the new game mode or raid or whatever it is that's next. They've talked about something big coming, and I think that's at least getting into the more in-depth testing phase that is going on the test server, and I'm hoping that we're going to start getting more details or hints at what's coming there, and hopefully it won't be too long before we have that. So to me, that's very exciting. But there's also another reason that I'm glad the test server access is gone, at least temporarily. And I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, and this is probably the worst possible time for me to make this video and say this, because my channel is actually doing very well right now with all the Galactic Legend content that I put out. And anytime I say something that goes against the opinions of the Game Changers, my channel usually doesn't do quite as well as a result of that. I take some pushback there, but those of you who know me know that I don't really care about that type of thing. I'm not trying to make a living out of this. This is just a hobby, so I do what I have fun doing and what I like, and if people like it and subscribe more and watch more, then great, and if not, then oh well, not the end of the world. So anyways, the other reason that I was excited about this is that I actually don't like test server access for this game in the first place, and I know some people will see that as hypocritical, because I feel like I'm close to getting test server access in LEGO Legacy, and I'm thinking I'm going to get that there. I don't know for sure, but it's looking pretty good. And I almost got, or I thought had a good chance of getting test server access in this game at one point. I pushed really hard to try and get test server access. So people will say, well, that's hypocritical to say it shouldn't exist when you want in on it. So I'm going to say this part first, that anything that I criticize about the test server access here is not directed at the Game Changers whatsoever. It's because I would be doing the exact same thing as they have done if I was in their shoes and I had test server access. So just because I don't like it doesn't mean that I wouldn't use it. Doesn't mean I criticize Game Changers for using it. My thoughts on this are about having it in general, and the reason I don't like having test server access for a game like this, where we've got YouTubers that are established and already promoting the game and that type of thing, and CG does not need to build them up anymore at this point, is that I feel like test server access takes away from real account accomplishments. The pride and accomplishment, or what was the saying again? I can't even. Yeah, whatever that was. Why is that eluding me right now? The sense of pride and accomplishment, is that what it was? Of playing the game and accomplishing something. Whenever I hate seeing test server accounts being the first to do anything, and because I think that's something that a real person could have done, could have gotten credit for, and it's just not the same as when somebody does it with a test with the test server access. I know a lot of people don't care. There's a lot of people that aren't at that level of being able to be creative and do that type of thing, so they don't care whether it's a real person or whether a test account. But I love when it's real people able to do these accomplishments. And even before, I'm obviously biased because I'm a small-time YouTuber who does not have test server access, trying to compete with those that do, at least compete on some sense of, in some sense of that term. Obviously, I'm not actually competing with them. I can't compete with them. I'm not that level, but in some ways I do compete with them for that type of thing. And it's even before that, before I ever did anything worth noting whatsoever in this game, before I thought about ever having a YouTube channel or anything to even put on it, I have seen people who come up with things on Discord servers and kind of theory craft ideas and then try to build up those teams, and somebody with test server access catches wind of it, builds it up on the test server, accomplishes it there, and then the people who originally came up with the ideas don't get any credit or don't get to be the first ones to run it on that type of thing. And I really hated seeing that. And I hated it before I was a YouTuber, and then it's happened to me a couple times after I kind of became a YouTuber, and it's really frustrating when that happens. And it's just something that I like see. So we haven't had test server access with these Galactic Legends materials. So I've been able to showcase real people who unlocked Kylo first, who unlocked the tier or defeated the tier 6 of the event first, getting the ultimates, those types of things. It's been great being able to highlight real players in the game, and I think that's really good for the community when you can highlight real players and what they are accomplishing. And I do feel like test server access takes that away. I mean, yeah, some of the things are not necessarily creative things. It's just spending money, and people do get better there when it's a new marquee character that comes out, and instead of seeing somebody on a test server unlock it, you're watching some whale who, again, they weren't creative. They just spent a lot of money. But still, I think it's cool when they can get that reward, and you see it spread out more amongst the community. Some of these accomplishments that people come up with, because it's not just that. It's a more even playing field is basically my whole point. It's a more even playing field so that most of the high-end stuff that's being accomplished isn't just being accomplished by people with test server access. So I know that's a very long-winded way of saying that and going about all this, but I hope I kind of made myself clear that I do like to see real accomplishments by real people over YouTubers. And I'm not trying to diminish what the YouTubers do. And a lot of people will say, well, CG needs to support them because they bring so much publicity to the game. And yes, they absolutely do bring so much publicity to the game, but a lot of those guys, I mean, they don't need the test server access. Yes, it helps them. They aren't going away. They're not going to stop making videos. They're not going to stop what's essentially promoting the game, or sometimes it's complaints on the game and not promoting it, but for whatever reason, bringing some sort of attention to the game with their videos. Losing the test server access is not going to do that, and it's actually going to help some of the smaller people, like myself. Again, obviously I'm biased, but it will help people like me who are trying to compete and make videos, and it's going to spread out some of those accomplishment videos around the community, and hopefully more people will be able to share in those. So that's my thoughts on that. Again, that was longer than I anticipated it being. That was a very long-winded way of saying all of that, but hopefully I got my point across, and hopefully I was able to do it without feeling like I'm taking shots at the Game Changers, because that's absolutely not my intention whatsoever. Those guys work extremely hard at what they do. I did not realize how hard some of this is and how time consuming it is making videos until I got into it. And I'm just doing it as a hobby when it's convenient for me and when I enjoy it. It's got to be on a whole nother level on their end for those who are doing it for either their sole source of income or a significant source of their income and relying on that and having to make those videos. That it's a lot more work than you would think. So again, I'm not criticizing any of those guys because I would be doing the exact same thing if I was in their shoes. So I hope nobody takes it as a shot against them, but I do, like I said, I have a different opinion on this, and that I am excited that test server access is gone. And honestly, I hope it doesn't come back unless I get the chance to get one myself, because like I said, even though I don't think it's good for the game at this point, at least for the part of the game that I am into. That said, I would absolutely take it on myself if I got offered, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm above that or anything like that, because I would have so much fun with that and have so much fun making videos. So again, not criticizing anybody that has used it in the past or might get the chance to use it again in the future. Please don't take it as that. But for now, I do like that we don't have test server access for the moment, and I'm loving all these people coming forward with these Galactic Legends events and getting credit for doing new things and trying new pieces or coming up with new counters or new things to do. I am so excited about where the game is at for this moment, while everything's new. Now, ultimately, unless we're getting new content, new game modes, that type of thing, that this excitement isn't going to last for too long. But for the moment, I'm really enjoying the game, and that's why you're seeing all these videos. So be sure to like and subscribe, because you're going to see a lot more coming at you. I do want to once again give some credit here to my patrons. Let me get myself off the screen so you guys can see your name up there. Hopefully you're not thinking, oh no, I don't want to associate with this video, because I completely disagree with his opinion. So hopefully you guys don't hate that. But anyways, thanks a lot for everybody's support, and I will be seeing you guys around. There's a lot more to come. Thanks a lot.